Okay, so today we're going to go through a very quick introduction to Transcoder. It's quite a basic introduction. I'm going to talk to you about what Transcoder can do. So Transcoder is our software from Colorfront and is for delivery faster than real time for high-end cinema, and it allows you to transcode, decode, process, wrap, and convert to high-end formats. So without any ado, I'm just gonna start Transcoder and go through the software itself and show you all the features that we can find in this amazing software. So here we go. As Josh said before, at any time, if you need to ask any question, just please use the chat box and then we go through all the questions at the very end. In the chat today, in the Zoom, we also have Tibor from Budapest, who's joined us, and he's here to help me to answer all the questions, and he's going to, help me with the chat and everything. So thank you, Tibor, for being with us. Okay, so here we go. When we start Transcoder, this is the first settings that we need to set up. Transcoder UK is the name of the project, and I have here the resolution, frame rate, and all the settings to start the project with. You can set up any resolution that you want just by clicking here, or just by moving or typing in the resolution that you actually want. What is interesting is you also can change the frame rate, and for every frame rate you need to work with. What I wanted to talk to you about is the color processing setups that you have here. So you have different options. You have native, ACES, or Colorfront engine. So the native one is a basic pipeline going through any camera raw that it will allow you all the color transformation to whatever end target you want to. So it's a very simple pipeline from camera raw to the end. So debayering and all the LUTs and the things you need to apply to the image to be able to see them. ACES, as you well know, it's basically setting up a workspace and a color space that is in ACES. And Colorfront engine is our own, based on ACES model, our own processing color management tool. We're going to describe this more in details later during the demo, so I'm just going to leave it there for a moment. But Colorfront engine is our own advanced color volume remapping tool, and is based on the ACES model. So it's fully compliant with ACES as well. You can save this setting as a template and then use it again and set the project path. Every project of Transcoder creates a database that could be local or not local, but all the information that you need are in the database. So you could also run Transcoder via a REST API, or without even opening the GUI, and send renders and things happening in the background. I'm just going to hit launch and I'm going to start the project for you now. Here we go. So in the meantime, I'm meeting some people. Welcome to the new entries. Okay, so this is the first page of Transcoders. We have a bin, master bin, where you can import all the material that you want to use. For example, text, video, audio, or subtitles and all that. So let's just go and grab some material. I'm just going to use some footage, just a shot in HDR. And another thing that I can load is some audio. So I'm just going to hit plus and just hit some 5.1 channel audio and just put it right there. So once your bin is filled with material, let me just try and maybe mute everybody. Oh, I think it's okay. So video and audio, they're both selected. I can just hit V and they're going to place themselves on the timeline for me. So it's really nice. I can scroll through the video and the audio, so preview the image. Obviously here I can zoom in and out and move my image around. I can also move the timeline. So the timeline has some basic edit tools that you can use. You can scroll, you can move the footage and the audio separately. You can cut. You can also, as you can see here, you can also create, dissolve, add different type of dissolve. And then there are two nice things that I usually show because they're interesting. You have a way of set up a reel. So if you select your material first, Then you can set up a reel that starts 10 seconds and ends 10 seconds before, and that will create a reel on top of your image that will set the actual duration of whatever you want to export or render. Or another thing, you can actually delete it very quickly. I'm just going to meet this other person. Another nice thing that you can do is an auto edit. So you set up as many black as you want, bars, and then you have your shot and then black at the end, and hit make edit. And Transcoder will create a timeline for you with the bars and the black at the beginning and at the end. So these are all like very, very neat little tools that allows you to basically really quickly edit your material. So as you can see, I'm just like moving back the audio to the original place where you used to be, and also basically you can also edit these things automatically and make it, you know, work like in a first edit option. Very basic tools, but they're there for you to work with. So this is the main page right here. So everything happens here in terms of editing and all. The second space that I wanted to show you is where the color and the transformation are happening actually. So you have a source material here. So in this case is a ProRes 444, and then you have a result here. In the middle you have these nodes that allow you to transform the image as you like. I show you a quick tour so you can duplicate, delete, or move the nodes around. But these are the different tools that you can apply in Transcoder. So we have in color space, we have all the different looks and arrow and red and all the different debayers tools and color transformation that you need. In grading, we have all the primary color correction. So CDL and some curve and skin tones and print light and all that. In enhance, we have grain, gradients, sharpen, vignette, all that. In mask will allow you to create vignette and shapes. Transform will have a reframe or a resize or a zoom or things that you need to apply to transform the image. And in other, you have other tools like analyzer or the subtitle tool or some other option to split the screen and do other things, okay? Now, to explain this very quickly, I wanted to show you some examples. So you can create your own pipeline of things, putting all your nodes together to create what you like. Or you can actually click Shift O, and this will open a wizard that will help you to create some templates, some already prepared templates of color processing that are set up for you. So just to explain this very quickly, let me just show you. Let's pretend that this material is actually red and put it on native. Yeah. And I'm gonna hit create. So what's happening here is that we have in here, let me show you all the red debayering settings. So color red, red color, and the gamma correction, and all the other settings that you need for the debayer. So shadow, brightness, exposure, and all that. Then we have a node that is a reframe, so to adjust the resolution to the project resolution. Then we have a LUT, which could be a LUT that you load from another that you prepared before, or one of the preset LUTs. Here in this rectangle you have everything that's have to do with the grade. So in this case we have a CDL that allows me to change the slope, power, and the offset of the image. Then we have another LUT. Again, this is a show LUT, so this time is for exporting, for viewing. And finally, we have a burn-in. In this case, nothing is applied to it, but you could apply any, information, scene, and time code that you would like to apply to your final result. So this is a typical native one. But let's look what it looks like if you have, starting from video, so in our case, ProRes 444XQ, but going with ACES. So if I create a typical ACES pipeline, you recognize here I have an IDT, yeah, that transform from linear to ACES, and then I have an ODT that gets out from ACES to the Rec 709 color space or whatever it needs to go. Obviously you can change this, to whatever target monitor you have. Right, so this is a typical ACES pipeline. Another typical pipeline that I wanted to show you is going from video to Colorfront engine, which we talked briefly before. So this is based on the ACES model, some people say it could be like ACES 2. It basically is compliant with ACES, so you can work this in an ACES pipeline as well. But what it does is use our own mathematic and our own advanced formula that adapt the image and remap it to whatever target display you want. But what Colorfront Engine does, it takes in account the human visual process, the way the eye reacts, the human eye reacts to the light and everything. So it's actually different from the ACES and works the material in a different way. But the concept is similar. So you go from linear Rec 709 to the Colorfront color and log. Then we have some technical grading, so temperature, tint, and exposure. Then we have some grading in terms of brightness, contrast, and everything. Then another transformation that brings the image from Colorfront color to AP1 D65 in this case. Another interesting thing about Colorfront Engine is we have a look, master look blending option. So we prepared all these looks that basically get your image to what you need to, at the state you need to start that color grading process that will happen somewhere else or, you know, in a second hand. And these looks can be blended together. But basically what's important in this is that no matter what camera you're coming from and no matter what target you're coming from, the Colorfront Engine will get you to the same results, and will always keep in in mind, and will always maintain the original creative intent. And so this gives you a lot of assurance and a lot of control over the quality of the color of your images. I'm going to mention quickly that we took this whole pipeline and condensed it into one node, Colorfront Engine, and also this node is available as a plugin to use in DaVinci for the moment, like an OpenFX plugin, which means that you can use the tools of color grading that you have in DaVinci or other software, but in a Colorfront Engine environment as color space, which allows you to actually work the image with the formulas and the mathematical formulas that we use in our transformation. Okay, so let's move on. What's interesting is that this result right here, well, I can create another result and another again, no? So I can create as many results as I want simultaneously, and this can be exported as well simultaneously. So I can create 3, 4, 5 different results with different color space, different reframes, different burn-ins, and those will go out in my encoding page at the end simultaneously. So for example, let's use another example here. I'm going to apply quickly a grading node just to show you what are the capabilities in this case. So we have slope, power, and offset. Let me get my tools out. So you can attach a panel obviously to the transcoder. I usually use the tangent or whatever panel you have. I'm going to do a very quick look. Bear with me. It's kind of psychedelic, but let's keep it. I just want to show you how easy it is to basically select both the results and then just very quickly jump between them, or even have them like side by side and compare different results, different color grades, different looks that you're applying to your results to see them together, right? Okay, so let me move on. Yeah, the next step that I wanted to show you, let me just quickly just rearrange this and bring it back to its original position, because I failed to do it before, didn't realize. There we go. So last page, but not least, is the P page, which is where you want to do all your encoding. This is where the encoding happens. So let me just browse quickly to the options you have. So all the Avid DNX options, Avid SD, all the QuickTime apps option, Apple ProRes, all the different ProRes options. This is for disk, so MPEG, HEVC, all the different flavors. We got some web option like DAX and PIX, other apples. Broadcast, so H.264. These are the images, so DPX, EXR, JPEG, and all that. Then we have audio, so you can export different audio files. DCI and IMF I'm going to show you later, because we have another window for that with lots of options, so I'm going to keep it. These are the JPEG 2000, and also a lot of metadata, so CDL, ALE, all different type of LUTs, so 3D LUTs, cube and all. Others are other option. I'm just going to show you this later as well. So for example, a light level or an HDR10 plus statistics for the lights. And then the custom button is where you basically save your own encoding settings that you want and just have them in a list over there. So you can find them very easily. Sorry, I'm just going to have a glass. Wow. Okay, so let's pick one, for example. I'm just going to do very quick picks. 720p, a small one. Here you got all the different settings and metadata that you might want on your export. You can change them, change the resolution setting and all. If you click on this one, it gives you the render path and the name and where it's going to be saved. Okay, so I'm just gonna hit Ctrl R, save this timeline, and I'm exporting. I'm rendering this pics for you very quickly. While it renders, I'm just going to tell you this that you're seeing is a machine that I use for support and quick demos. So it's not a certified machine. The speed you see here is not the speed that you will achieve in a proper certified machine that it has different requirements. So the top of the list is a super micro with 4 NVIDIA card. Then you could also use an HP Z840 with 2 NVIDIA cards. And I'm just going to mention quickly here that the new things that is coming out is the new Apple Pro Mac, the new Mac Pro 7.1. So until this point, the transcoder on Mac and the transcoder on Windows, they had some differences in features that you can do. But with this new release on Mac 7.1, the Catalina, the features are almost the same, so you can actually do Dolby Vision and other things like that in Mac as well. So these are the new things that are coming, and so in general, to actually work with a machine that is certified gives you a top of the speed and fast in real time. If you want a demo of that, I'm sure that we can hook you up with Tibor and some other guys in Budapest who has the proper powerful stuff to show you. Okay, so I just finished my export and I'm just going to quickly show you where it is. So project, TKD UK, generated, and here is my pics, QuickTime, and I also exported a Python file that can basically launch it automatically if needed. Okay, so this was the first thing I wanted to show you. Now, oh, just quickly mentioning, you could also just, select another format, generic HEVC or a JPEG 2000, and instead of hitting Ctrl R, you hit Alt R. And in this case, what Transcoder is doing is submitting all the files that you require to be encoded to the render queue. The render queue could be in your machine locally or could be in another machine somewhere else. But what's interesting is that it's basically doing the render in the background while you are working and keep doing your things, okay? So no problem, you just keep working your stuff and it's still there. Okay, moving on. If I'm going too fast, just let me know, or if I need to stop, please just tell me, yeah? Okay, so one other thing I wanted to show you, well, quickly, some tools here. You have a metadata option, so it tells me this file is basically a Rec 709 SDR material. I've got the audio implementation metadata here. So all the tools are there. So I just quickly want to create a new timeline. And call it T2 because I want to show you some other nodes and options that you have. So let's bring this material again. So video and audio, and then I'm just gonna add another channel of audio, this time a stereo channel, okay? Just drop it there, add an audio track in my timeline. So Alt V and then bring down the stereo. Okay, so if I enlarge this, as you can see, I have my 6 channels in the top one, and I have my 2 stereo channel in the bottom one. I can mute them or solo them, and also I have Alt Y. I have a mix down that allows me to create all the different mix down that I want if I want to change. And you can also work with immersive audio with Transcoder. Atmos immersive is supported, and it's all there. So another thing that I wanted to add here is, for example, some subtitle. So in Transcoder, you have a subtitle engine that allows you to support all the different characterization and all the different styling of subtitles that you have. So let's see, let's put it right here. So I created a track with subtitles, and it's telling me that there is a node needed to do this. In fact, let's just create a subtitle node. So I don't want a Colorfront engine pipeline in this case. I just want a normal one. Let's put some subtitles right there. And at this point, I can see them, right? And as you can see, they have different character, different looks and stuff. What I wanted to do with this timeline is actually create an SDR to HDR transformation. So let's do that quickly. I'll show you HDR to SDR remapping. I put it in the node right here before the subtitle, because this is an HDR subtitle. And I want to transform this image from Rec 709 to an HDR image. So the in primary is Rec 709 2.4 100 nit, but I'm actually going out in 2020 PQ 1000 nit. So what's cool in Transcoder is that I have a quick key, Ctrl F11 and Ctrl F12, that allows me to open up a preview mode that shows me the SDR option and the HDR option. So in the same environment, I can actually view my image as an HDR. Okay? It allows me also to constrain the information if I want to in a Rec 709 or in a P3. And I'm going to just quickly show you how I can check this in my second-hand analyzer. So let me just show you my second screen. Let me see. Duck. New share. Come on, baby. Come down. Okay, it's a new share. So this is my second monitor right here, and I'm going to share with you. Someone can confirm that you are seeing it now, please?
Yeah, we can see that, Laura.
See it.
Thank you, guys. Okay, so this is the second-hand analyzer, and it's the top of the spot to actually analyze your images. These are the graphics that I choose, the graphs that I choose, because this is the one that I like to have a look at. But basically, the moment that I change my viewing from SDR to HDR, you can see that all my graphs are changing. Yeah, and I can actually have complete control over the image and look at the brightness and what's happening during the transformation. Also, these two bars give me warnings. So I have a brightness and a gamut bar, and this gives me warning every time I exceed the brightness or the gamut in my transformation. And also, remember when I showed you the constraint? Let me go to a very colorful image. Yeah, like the parrot right here. Yeah. So right now, I'm allowing the color to go to P3, but if I wanted to constrain to Rec 709, this is what's happening. So you actually have complete control over your images, and this analyzer is very, very handsome. How do you say? Helpful. Handsome. Anyway, go back to the normal screen, and here I am. So this is my image in HDR. Okay. So I have my nodes, I have a HDR remap, I have my subtitles, and what I want to do is I want to show you how to export an IMF package with maybe some Dolby Vision metadata information. Okay, so all I have to do is actually add a grading Dolby Vision node right there. Tac. So you can have this information. All you have to do is hit init, And Transcoder is asking you, do you want me to render a PQ stats? And you said yes. So what it's doing now is going through the shot, the timeline, and it's going to analyze all the brightness at every level and save a statistic with all the different levels, maximum and average. So there are different ways of working with Dolby Vision data in Transcoder. So you can import an XML from another software and apply it to the image and then wrap it up. Or you can create it like we're doing, creating it in the software itself. What's interesting, and I think it's pretty unique of the software, is that you can also work with metadata coming from Dolby Vision of different levels. So you can work with Dolby Vision 2.9 and Dolby Vision 4 and mix the metadata of this information together. So it's a very, very well calculated backward compatibility between version 4 and version 2.9, and I think this is quite unique because it's not an easy task to achieve, but it's happening more and more nowadays that you have to deal with different levels of metadata from Dolby Vision. Another thing that is very cool is that I will show you later, we have all the validation tools implemented in Transcoder. So all the metafire stuff that you usually have to do after, you can actually validate your packages inside Transcoder at the end of your export. So this is done, and as you can see here, I have a green line that is showing me that there are some metadata in the available for Dolby Vision. How can I look at them? But I can do the metadata information here. So I have the audio and the video, and then here I have the Dolby information, right? Dolby Vision image average and maximum information. But I also can get out my graph right here. So let's have a look. I can also put the light level right here, and you can see that it gives me all the different information right there to look at. But notice that these are static, so they're not moving either here, they're not moving in my node, yeah, they're not moving yet, so they're static information. So next thing to do very quickly is to hit here, timeline, and then cut detection based on light level. What it's doing is putting cuts in my timeline wherever the light is changing and needs to go to a different information. So all I have to do is just select my Dolby Vision node and hit init again. And now if you notice here, crash, mid and clip, and also this information here, you see that my metadata are actually now moving and changing. So now I'm in a dynamic metadata situation right there, okay? So very quickly, we're ready to render now. So I wanted to just quickly create an IMF for you. So let's see how it works. Shift D to get my finalize window out. I can create DCP and all that. Let's go for an IMF at the moment. So all the settings here you can actually change and set up for yourself, or you can just go here where you have everything already presetted for you from the major houses, Sony, HBO, Hulu, Disney and Netflix. So I'm going to create an IMF next Netflix HDR, and I quickly show you that you can still change the encoder. For example, because my computer is a bit, it's a little, I'm going to do an HD and I'm going to do YUV422 and maybe 400 megabits, so it's a bit faster. Color is already set up automatically switch to HDR and is already telling the machine to export a PDF for the HDR report. The audio is already set up as dual. These are the versioning if you want to do other version 1, version 2, supplemental version. These are the naming, again, is already all set up for you, and we have a sidecar if you want to add some, you know, PDF or text file or image information to the package. All good, so I'm going to hit generate, fill the gaps, and this is going to start creating my IMF in the background. In the meantime, just let me quickly show you something we talked about. This is the Resolve OFX plugin that I was telling you before for the Colorfront engine. So it's built on ACES, and it works on JSON files. So there are files that are actually more humanized, no? So you can actually read them and look at them. It's got an LMT that fits into Resolve in an ACES pipeline, so you can use all the grading tools, and it's at the moment in beta. And the other thing I wanted to show you, which we can talk about a lot later, it's our new remote video streaming. So what I'm doing now, so packaging this IMF for Netflix, I can actually do this in the cloud using a powerful machine with 4 graphic cards in the cloud, and streaming the material directly from the S3 bucket, work it in Transcoder, and then stream it directly to Netflix without even downloading anything. So that's one workflow. And the other thing is that we have a remote video streaming that is in beta at the moment that allows you to do professional virtual remote video output. We're actually streaming 10-bit 444 Ultra HD HDR. At the client, at the client side, you have to have an SDI, obviously, to be able to see the HDR material. But that means that you actually can do the quality check in total color, total quality of the color in real time in remote. So you're working at home and your director can see the stuff happening right away. So this is using obviously the AWS or Azure interaction with the cloud. And we are thinking about 2 different scenarios, no? So home office and remote connecting, working on the same project, or office to office, or actually just do the whole workflow in the cloud. To give you some more information about this, let's keep all the technical stuff. We can give you this information, or we can have a one-to-one talk about that, or a demo. But I wanted to show you that the settings. The video that we're streaming is this. So we can go up to 4K resolution, and the data rate that you need to actually stream this up is not too much. So it's actually something that is achievable. Probably all the offices that you work at the moment have this or more. So we can definitely talk about this a bit more. It's in beta. It's being tested at the moment in the beta in America by big major picture houses that are using it at the moment. We are available to give you more in-depth demos if you're interested, but it's actually quite cool to look at. The thing is, they're using STR technology, and there's a software. There's a nice software that's like remote desk that work to control the transcoder, and you basically spin up an instance in the cloud, and we can provide these instances that are already set up with 4 graphic cards and the full power of the machine to actually deal with this sort of things. And this is basically paid by the hour depending on the region you are using this. SRT streams, so it's secure. In case you're wondering if it's encrypted, it is, and it's faster than real time, and it's all happening at the moment interactive and directly from the S3. So no need to actually download any material. You could actually package your stuff and send it to Netflix directly, or great from home, and have your producer and director to view the material right away. On the client side, all you need is a good monitor, an SDI option or HDMI option to get out of the machine. But basically, you don't need a powerful machine. All you need is this. We have a QC player that allows you to control play and stop, and you can also check basically the quality of the image.
Fantastic. We had one last question, if you're asking if it has an integrated API. Nacho's come back and said yes, it does, just to confirm with everyone.
Definitely is totally workable with the API, with the Transcoder engine in the background, and just controlling it with the APIs and REST.
Yeah, exactly. Well, thanks very much for your time, Laura. And if you've got any follow-up questions, queries, if you need any more info with regards to slides or product features, feel free to drop an email to sales@boxer.co.uk and we'll have someone get in touch with you.